Okay, Andor, Narkina 5. Our review after this. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd, and today we're talking about Andor once again, and last we heard, of course, he was vacationing, actually just kind of on the run, but thinking that he was home free with plenty of credits to his name and on a vacation type of place in which he looks the wrong way at an Imperial guard and is arrested and sentenced to 6 years. And at the beginning of this episode, he is sent off to this prison camp on Narkina 5. Now, Narkina 5 is not your usual prison. It is clean, it is modern looking, it has good accommodation, honestly, for a prison. He's got his own room, his own bed. He has as much food as he wants to eat. It's not very tasty, but it's there. And he works 12-hour shifts on a factory floor. Now, there appear to be many floors, and each room on a floor has like 7 tables, and each table competes against the other tables for how productive they can be, each room against other rooms, each floor against other floors. And whoever is the least productive table is punished, and whoever has the most productive room has a treat, which is to say flavoring added to their food. So this is what they're working for. They have a posting on inside their cells of how many days they have left to serve their sentence, which is, when you break 6 years down into days, that puts quite a few up there. So since he is educated and can read, he is made a table captain, basically, and it's up to him to make sure that the people around it are doing their jobs properly. And then the floor supervisor, who is also a inmate with about 6 months left, is wanting his to be, of course, the most productive room. So this is all going together. Of course, the first one, since he's new there, their table is the least productive, and they are shocked. They have to be barefoot all the time, and they're in contact with a steel floor that is charged. The guards wear rubber boots, so whenever they hit the charge, it fries whoever's on the floor. This has 3 levels, they explain. The first one is painful and brings you to your knees. The highest level will kill you. And so is in their cell block. If they step out of their cells and touch the floor, they are killed. And we see that happen on one of the inmates, just kind of showing how it happens. So it doesn't look like there's going to be any major jailbreak just yet, but there are ways that the inmates are able to communicate with each other, and Andor is noticing this. In other stories, we have Miro, who has made progress. She, at last episode, was able to convince her superior that she had a plan. So Miro is allowed more leeway, and one of the first things she does is that she brings Cyril into a room to try to find out what of the report was left out from the Ferrix incident. Now, Cyril concludes by this time that the Empire is a little too interested for it to be the killing of 2 guards. There's much more to it, and makes his case to Miro that he should be part of her team. Now, she doesn't accept that, basically says, you say anything else about this, if you make any more noise, bad things will happen. We expect, however, that his capabilities, certainly his enthusiasm, might be just something that they're looking for. Marva is sick. Bix and Russo have looked in on her and have found that due to some of her rebel activity, she's looking for a way to find out just what kind of secret passages there are in the settlement that they're in that rebels could get in through and avoid the guards. And she is not doing well. Bix is trying to think that we've got to find Andor. Obviously, they do not know what's happened to Andor. Nobody does. The Empire doesn't know even really who he is. And Marva doesn't know that he's a rebel. And he was arrested under an assumed name. So he is pretty much as isolated as he can be. But the ruminations from Ferrix have attracted, of course, the Empire's notice. And Miro seems to think that all they need to do is to find people that he knew there, and they could lead him to them. And so they have arrested Bix. We know that Vel and Zinta are also on Ferrix. Vel is leaving there. They're splitting up because the two of them there would be a little too problematic. Now, they're there because, of course, they were intending to do away with Andor because he knew about Luthen and could give information about the budding Rebel Alliance. And so they're looking for him. The Empire is looking for him. Bix is looking for him. Nobody knows where he is. He's in prison, and nobody is going to find him, but they're going to find a lot of people if they all try to work together to find where he is. So they're concerned about that. Luthen is concerned about being discovered, and yet he continues on. He calls himself a coward, but he is afraid of what will happen if the Empire gets too strong a hold. We introduce a new character by the name of Saw. We'll probably see more of because he's played by Forrest Whitaker. An actor that big isn't going to have a one shot. So we may find his negotiations with Luthen, which didn't come to much, will be probably revisited. Mon, for her part, is trying to find out why she can't get access to her money. Her friend Tay has found that new financial regulations set by the Empire is going to make it more difficult for them to quietly move money around. And so that is some concern of Mon at this point. Also, there is some danger of her being discovered. She is talking with other senators about what the Emperor's intentions are and what danger that might be to the Empire. That might put her name up there and perhaps reveal some of her true beliefs. So a lot of things working their way through in this episode. We don't know what they're building on the prison planet. Probably doesn't matter. But it doesn't look like there's going to be an easy way to get away from it. I don't think, though, still, that Andor is going to spend the entire 6 years there. It's likely that he will find some way to make some kind of alliance and some way to get rubber boots. So the interest here is in what happens to Bix, what happens to Luthen, what happens to Mon. And we probably will hear more about that as time goes on. I'd like to know what you think about this. Obviously, not as compelling an episode as last time, but they appear to be setting up for the next big thing. So I'd like to know what you think. Please put it down in the comments. And, of course, if you've not subscribed or rung the bell so that you know when the next video is coming your way, you should do so. And that is what we're doing here. We're talking about Andor. We're talking about Doctor Who. We're talking about Star Trek and anything else that is science fiction television here on this channel. So we hope that you will subscribe and ring the bell so you know when the next video comes your way. Fairly soon we're going to do a spoiler version of the Doctor Who special recently, and we will, of course, be talking about the last Lower Decks episode this weekend. So, until we talk to you next time, don't go far.